Hi guys, good to be back. I was kind of marveling at the kind of weird things that you discover about yourself while you have to stare at yourself and talk and try to feel and look normal at the same time. And I just realized that when my ex-husband put my tooth through my lip, um, there's a big scar right there. So I was looking and I was like, why is my mouth so lopsided? And I realized it's because there's a big fat lip scar in there and it's pulling my whole mouth sideways. And it's not really noticeable in person, but when you're staring at a camera head on, it kind of is. And it's disturbing. Anyways, um, I'm going to continue my story. And um, so, like I said, it was a little bit of work, but I did get out on early prison release drug court, which is a year-long program. And to get released, you have to agree that you're still considered an inmate while you're in the program. I had a chance of making parole in another few months, but the fact remains is my back end was 10 years, and I probably wouldn't have made parole the first time. They generally don't give it to you if your back end is that long. So um, I took a chance with the program. I figured it would keep me sober, and I decided to let them release me to Las Vegas because even though it's just as big a drug town, if not bigger than Reno was at the time, I didn't know anybody in Las Vegas. I never dealt drugs to anybody in Las Vegas. I never got high with anyone in Las Vegas. So I felt like I was going to be a little bit safer there than going back home. So when I got released, I went into this program. The first 2 weeks were strict lockdown. You were allowed 1 hour of exact time out to go to a store and get what you needed as far as like hygiene items and things of that nature. Other than that, you stayed in the house. You were locked down for 2 weeks, and it was a halfway house, so they knew what you were doing at all times. I didn't really have a house anyway, so it worked out good for me. Um, you had to go to an AA meeting every day, and you had to jump through a few hoops. The first 2 weeks of that program are the hardest, probably the most strict. I don't know if any of you have ever done a drug court program. I know most states have something similar. Regular drug court is pretty strict, but early prison release drug court is militant. They follow you around. You are not allowed to gamble. You're not allowed to eat poppy seeds, take cold medicine with ephedrine in it. You are not allowed to drink rock stars or Red Bulls. I mean, they're very, very, very strict, and they do not mess around. They catch you doing these things. You can't be late to class by even a minute. You can either get everything revoked and get thrown right back in prison, or you can get punished in ways like do weekends in jail. They'll do like 3 sets of weekends in jail for some of the smaller stuff and things of that nature. And I was determined to do this program right. I actually remember once me and my friend Don, we were laughing and we were eating some cheese that the house mother had gotten. It's like this tub of cheese, and house mother comes out and we ask her, "Do you want some cheese, Florence?" And she goes, "Oh no, thank you." And Don goes, "It's really good. It's got port wine in it." And we both went, "Oh." And then we had to do like a lot of calling around to figure out that all the alcohol was cooked out of the cheese, and we were not going to test dirty for eating it. But it's just a funny memory because I remember we both almost peed ourselves. Um, the program progresses, and they give you a little bit and a little bit more rope to hang yourself with. It's got 4 stages. Second stage, you have to get a job. That job has to be okay with you being in a program. They have to actually sign off that it's okay that you're in a program and that you're working there, and they know about your past and your history, which makes it that much harder to get a job. I actually got a job in a print shop. I had a lot of printing graphic design experience from school, and that proved to be a really hard job for the grunt level, and it didn't pay enough to pay the bill. So I eventually moved up to other jobs. I had a couple of small jobs, and then I went to work for the newspaper, and I ended up working for them for 11 years doing a door-to-door sales crew, and I had a blast. But I did like phone surveys and stuff like that before that. Um, so, anyways, the in the program, one of the rules is you are not supposed to have sex of any kind. And as you guys can already tell from my past, that's my weakness. That is my big old problem. Or, I'm better now. But it wasn't my big old problem. And I wasn't, of course, trying to be promiscuous or anything. But one of the guys in the program, me and him had immediate attraction. First AA meeting, they came to our house, and the meeting was at our house. And we had immediate attraction towards each other. And there was a lot of chemistry between us, but he knew that that he was sneaking around, messing up at the back end. I didn't even know that. A couple of his close friends did, but he was really good at concealing it. He was further along in the program than me, so of course we hooked up a few times, and I was really interested, but I started to get attached to him, and he didn't want a relationship at that time. Later down the road, we've hooked back up, and he still wasn't ready for a relationship, and now we're friends, and we've been friends for 20 years or so. But anyways, so we were hooking up a little bit, and he basically shut me down and told me it's not a good idea for me to be seeing him. And again, I didn't know he was trying to protect me at the time, but he was. And so I ended up meeting James. James also went to a lot of programs. He was in a 3-year serious offender program for getting really drunk and high and stealing his mother's Volkswagen Rabbit and then trying to run from the cops in it. Yes, you heard me correctly. He tried to escape from the police in a Volkswagen Rabbit and then wrecked it in somebody's front yard. So, and that wasn't his first offense. But when he was in the program, he was a very good guy. He was upstanding, really, really adamant about being making sure we go to all our meetings and not missing anything, and really being involved and working the steps. And so I found myself kind of linking to him because he made me feel like it was okay to be strong and sober and serious about the program, and he made me feel like I was a good person. We ended up being in a relationship for several years, actually. But of course, we started hooking up in secret, and then I found out I was pregnant with Clyde, who is now 17. And now he knew at the beginning that I had been hooking up with Clark, and there's a slight chance that he might be Clark's baby, but it was never anything that was discussed. And I can't believe I'm saying this in public or anything right now, but I am. But more than like a 99% chance James is his dad anyways. But there were no secrets between us. We had a really good relationship, at least at the beginning. And then I started to get bigger. I was hiding it from the program. I'd never gotten in any trouble. Once I missed a bus because the bus was completely off schedule and had to run to class, and I was 3 minutes late, and everyone voted to let me in. And that was literally my only mess up in the whole program, and I didn't get punished for it because it was not my fault, and I could have got punished for it, but they were all my friends in the program. We're all very close. And they found out I was pregnant, obviously, because I started showing. Well, before I actually really started showing, I came clean with them because I knew it was going to be unavoidable pretty soon. And I could have gotten in big old trouble over that. But because I had done everything exactly as I was supposed to in the program, I got chastised a bit, but they decided to make an exception as long as I was in a relationship, and which I was. And even though they didn't want me to be, they would rather have me do that than be single and trying to work through a pregnancy. And that was some good times. We had a lot of fun. Some of my best friends, like my friend Dawn, and we were in prison together, but we really got to know each other in the program. We're still friends to this day. She's in Vegas, and she had some trouble along the way, but she's doing really, really good. And Christy, who's been doing good the whole time, she's the most beautiful grandmother I've ever seen in my entire life. Just gorgeous. You can't even tell she's a grandma. People that have changed my life. my friend Lee. Lee actually met in prison. She met me naked in the shower. We like to joke about it, but I I'd run out of all my supplies and I had no money on my books, and I started crying because I couldn't get any more shampoo out of my bottle, and she let me use hers. And then the next day she comes over to my unit with um, big bottles of the expensive shampoo and food and conditioner and body wash and a loofah. And she really changed my time in there and made it better for me. Everyone else used to call her Grandma Lee. I used to call her Mama. She was a second mother to me in there, and when we got out too, she got lucky. She had a much longer sentence, but because the prisons were overcrowded at the time, they allowed her to get out on the drug court program. Also, because the punishment for her offense had changed over the years, and it was much lighter than it was when she got sentenced. So they figured they would make an exception because she was a model prisoner. And so we ended up doing most of that program together also. She graduated a bit after me, but it made me really happy to have people close by that I could count on, and that really helped me feel better about myself and get through it all. And again, there's some kind of funny things and some stuff that happened along the way, which I'm going to get more into in my book probably, because I can't just sit here and talk for an hour and a half about each and every occurrence in the drug court program or whatever. But essentially, those were really good times. It was easy to be sober because I was surrounded by sobriety. That and the fact that we had a militant parole officer that would follow us. I mean, he followed us places, and you did not know he was there. There was one time I knew he was following me because I was with someone I was with Andy, my cellmate, in prison, but we were on our way to a meeting. We stopped by my house to change my shoes, and there he was. So I knew he was going to follow me, but he gave us permission to go to the meeting together. I told him it's just for the meeting, and because you can't, associate with any felons or anything like that. And she chickened out and had me drop her off at home, and I knew he was following me, and I looked. It was dark. There was no headlights for miles. I did not tell him which meeting I was going to, but he sure did pull up about 10 seconds after I did. And I was like, oh my God, you're good, dude. You're just good. So we didn't dare, try to get away with any transgressions. Like I said, not all of them, because Clark got away with a little, and then he got caught, and then went back to prison for a short period of time and got out. And took him a while to get his life completely together, but he's pretty together now. So that's a good story. But all these people are still my friends, and they mean a lot to me. And sometimes you just have to make the best of a bad situation. Don't lament and feel sorry for yourself or where you're stuck if you put yourself there. Try to find the light in everything. Try to find the good people that are close by. Try to find the little things that make you smile, and you'll appreciate your life a lot more. And you will kind of cling to those things and use them to help you be stronger when things happen that are a little more terrible or a little more difficult to understand or to get through. That's all I got for you today. I will start back up with my continued relationship with James and how it escalated. Thank you, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Oh, and don't forget, like and subscribe, share like crazy. I'm supposed to say that every single video just to remind people, in case there isn't, you think of anyone who would be interested in my story or a way to help me grow. We want to grow this channel so that we can do like a live feed, and you guys can talk to me directly and stuff. I just need to have enough of a following to be able to do that and be successful with it. So whatever we do, let's grow this thing, and let's get this going so that by the time I get through the story, we can do some more live things, and we can bring in some guest speakers and other people's stories, and figure out how other people feel. Okay. All right. Thanks, guys. I will see you tomorrow.